Welcome! In this series of videos, we will cover the design and implementation of a project, from initial design through coding and development to testing, using the PowerBasic Windows compiler. Today we will look at the resource management of staff in teams. So what is resource management? Resource management is the practice of planning, scheduling and allocating people, money and technology to a project or program. As such, for large teams of staff, it can be a complicated business, which is important to have a good grasp of to allow your project to prosper. Your resources are likely to be limited and the demand for them to be high. In this video, we will not be looking at any code, but we'll be looking at an application I created to do simple resource management. We'll delve into the code in part 2. So how do we track resources, and in how much detail? When looking at tracking, it's important to keep a sense of balance, and not to micromanage your resources. Tracking every moment of every day for your staff would be both counterproductive and overly onerous on the staff. There are many commercial products that can be used to keep track of what your staff resources are doing. Or you can use something as simple as a whiteboard and a handful of dry white markers. So what are the requirements for a simple application to track team resources? Multiple teams. It must be able to handle more than one team. Adding and removing of staff. It must allow adding, amending, removing staff within a team. Calendar driven. It must allow display of up to 6 months ahead and allow tasks or activities to be allocated to staff in time slots within each month. Easy visualization. It must be easy to grasp the activities at a glance. Publishing the resource plan. The visual plan must be able to be published to allow other members of the team and other teams to see it. And this is the application we've created to monitor and control our team's resources. The application has menus. The standard file menu to allow exit from the application. A resource menu to allow us to add a new resource, amend an existing resource, or to delete a resource from a team. We've also built in a security module. This is to allow us to set up security so that only certain users can amend the records. The rest of the users will be read-only. And we've also built in a help file. This help file is a guide for users on how to use the application. The main screen is divided into 3 parts. The top part is the list of resources. This is a grid. The application manages one sheet for each month for the next 6 months. So as we're recording this in February 2024, the first sheet is labelled February 2024, right up until July 2024. The bottom of the screen is an embedded browser control, which you will see what it's used for shortly. And the third part is the list of tasks. So let's go ahead and create a team and then add some resources to it. So we'll call this the support team. And we're going to have 2 resources within this team. So let's go in and add a brand new resource. The idea behind the headcount field is that not all staff will be full-time. If the member of staff is full-time, then the headcount will be 1. If the member of staff works less than full-time, then you can reduce the value of headcount. So we have now added John Smith, our new resource, to our team. As you can see, it has added 5 lines of data to the grid for team resource. As you cannot expect to get full utilization of any resource, there is always going to be some time that the resource is not working on your projects. We've allocated 4 weeks on each month and 5 days in each week. This allows you to give a rough estimation of our resource utilization. So let's add a second resource. So now we have 2 resources in the team. Now we can look at allocating tasks. The unallocated means that this particular member of staff is not allocated on that particular day of that particular week. We can now add some tasks that can be allocated to the members of staff. One of the tasks or activities that staff will do is have holidays. So let's set up holidays first of all. Holidays generally are planned, so you should know when your staff are actually going to be on holiday. So let's say John Smith is going to be on holiday in week 2 of February. We can select the whole of week 2, right click, and then set as the task currently selected. And that slots in holidays. And we'll say James Smythe is on holiday in week 3. So now we've set the holidays up for the month. If we click the Save button, this will save the data and will generate the HTML web page at the bottom of the screen. This, at a glance, can let you see all the members of your team and what their activity currently is for all 6 months, with a key at the bottom of the screen. This web page is also published out to a file which you can then push onto a web server for easy display of this data. So let's add a new task. Let's say the staff need to do 2 days a week support. So we can allocate 2 days for John Smith, and the following week we'll allocate that to Jane. We can save that and it will automatically update our chart at the bottom. So you can then go through and actually allocate time for each of the tasks you know that are going to be done. So once we have completed data for the first month, we can go on to subsequent months and fill them in as well. And save that, and they will appear in March. So this allows you to set up 11 tasks and 1 for unallocated. So at a glance, anywhere where it shows as unallocated, you can see the staff is not currently marked as resource for a particular project or task. So we can then rerun the application and load up the team data. Click on Load Team, select the team, and the data will come up quite happily. So we can now go in and add another resource. And there we have Tom Jones added to the list of resources. And we can select a task and bulk allocate him for that for the entire month. Save that, and he will appear down in the bottom chart. If we now look at the Security tab, and we can amend the security on the team. This allows a user to be designated as the owner of the team. You can also add additional users. And we can make Tom Jones read and write. All other users would be by default read-only. This would allow them to load the team resource file, but they would not be able to save any amendments. So while this is a fairly basic application, it can be used to keep track of resources over a 6-month period. The system runs on a rolling 6-month calendar, so if we run the application in March, then any data that was in February will be dropped off the system, and it will generate a new spreadsheet and a new set of columns for August. So what we'll do in the next video is we will delve into the PowerBasic code to see how we created and maintain this application. However, that's it for today. Thank you for watching.